In a world filled with things on the internet, two men, one podcast, two pores.
No better time than now to do it, right?
Ready?
You up for it?
Absolutely.
All right, man. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Two Poor Podcast Studios in lovely Indian Trail, North Carolina. As we come to you on the St. Patrick's Day weekend, you know, hope everybody's celebrating out there and having fun. We will
responsibly.
Responsibly, yeah, absolutely. 100% good point. And we will be celebrating too with our bourbon of the episode that we'll get into in a minute. But definitely wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, Blue Diamond Pest Control.
Yes.
Give the guys and girls a shout out there for all your commercial and residential pest control needs. They can hook you up and they'll do it at an affordable price. Call Jeff over at 704
Jeff Maddox
701-0876 or hit them up on bluediamondpc.net. Make sure to tell them that Two Poor Podcast sent you for your special discount.
Special discount. Jeff Maddox is over there shaking his head.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, we got some more potential sponsors coming up. I'm really looking forward to shouting them out. That's gonna be it's exciting. What's going on?
Yeah, negotiations are still in the works, right? So we'll let you know. But I'm excited. We're excited to bring more people into the family.
Yes,
and more people on board.
Yes, so. And I want to give a quick shout out, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
To the friends and family of Nelson. He was a great dude. Very, very solid. When people say life of the party, I couldn't really, describe him enough. He was just a phenomenal human, and what a huge loss, man. Solid dude.
So R.I.P. to Nelson.
And God bless Ghosts, of course. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that's one of those things to where we truly need to be grateful for every single day.
Yeah.
And be thankful and appreciative of every single day because we never know when it's going to be our last.
Yeah, I think we've said this plenty of times, and I think it's fitting to say it now. Life's fragile. Yeah. Life's fragile, and even me, getting the not even me like I'm some up on a pedestal. I've recognized as of recent that there's some changes that that I need to make that will benefit. It's about benefiting, and it's not just the health side; it's the mental side. It's the four pillars that we talk about.
Yes,
and it's connecting. It's being able to connect with something that's uncomfortable, and uncomfortable meaning that you're the guy that's that first time in the gym and you're looking around at a bunch of people that are in great shape, and that gets you to the point where you're like, I don't want to come back here.
Intimidated.
Okay. Well, look, then you know what? Don't go to the gym, dude. Go go and do it in your garage. Go, But here's the thing on a podcast that's kind of funny to say this. Stop talking about it and do it. Yeah. Right?
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Come on. All right, go ahead.
All right. Want to give a special shout out to Hannah Shook, who was on our last episode, because we still are in Female Empowerment Month, right? So,
God bless.
It was a great episode.
She did phenomenal.
Her episode, actually, the release date, it was the most views,
watched, right?
Most views that we've had on our channel in 24-hour period, and her episode was a part of that. So that's back-to-back episodes that we've set records with Tim Shea on Spotify and with Hannah on YouTube.
Right.
So thanks to them.
I'll say this, man, and thank you so much to Tim Shea.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Hannah, man, she dropped some jewels, man. She
learned so much from both of them.
You know what you when you're older than this respective person, and you still look at her like she's the 18-year-old or the whatever. She's a grown woman, and and dropped some serious jewels on us, man. So that was cool.
Yeah, and even though I thank her, even though she insulted us.
Dweebs?
I'm still upset about that, Hannah. Still upset about that.
Hey, Sean, when's the last time somebody called you a dweeb? Right? Anyway.
But she knows us from a long time.
Yeah, good people.
I mean, she is good people. Also, St. Patrick's Day. I just want to give a quick shout out. Do you know the story of St. Patrick?
I do know the story of St. Patrick, and I love the stories that I read on social media about why people hate St. Patrick.
Really?
And they're the same people that you ask the question to, and they're like,
don't understand.
They got no answer.
Yeah.
And what he did and what his actual contributions were.
I just think it was funny. You know, St. Patrick was not Irish. He was from England.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he actually brought Christianity to Ireland.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I just thought that was a little tidbit.
Maybe I was being a little negative.
A little historical tidbit for all the cats and kittens out there.
Don't worry about their story. Just worry about his story.
Yeah, it was mentioned today as well.
But
that right there was actually mentioned today in the sermon. Another thing, a little correlation. Interesting. That's crazy. But so let's segue. Unless you got more shout outs. You got more shout outs?
No, man. I want to get on with it.
You crafted that one.
Yeah.
You detoured.
Yeah.
All right, we're trying not to have any pause moments today. That's our mission.
No pause moments and no cussing.
We're gonna try. We can't promise. All right, so the bourbon of the episode is SB House Barrel Strength Washington's Reserve Numero Uno. So
oh God, it's gonna kill me.
This one right here, this has got a cool little history to it, and I picked this up in Bardstown. This is a Kentucky product.
He didn't tell me the proof on it, ladies and gentlemen.
Go ahead and drop that gem on him.
God, come on, man. Is it 115 proof?
I think. I don't know. What does it
my
say?
bad. It's 115.4.
115.4, ladies and gentlemen. So this is definitely getting closer to the Booker's level of heat.
A bit of spice, a bit of sting,
a bit of spice, a bit of sting, maybe, or maybe it's smooth. We have not sipped yet, so we'll try. So the history on this one, this is actually a real place. This is made in Bedford, Pennsylvania. The SB House is a real place. It's actually a National Historic Landmark, built in 1771.
Good God.
In 1794, George Washington used this house as his base of operations. GW to help calm a local uprising during the Whiskey Rebellion. And to add on to this, I have a Whiskey Rebellion flag that's flying out in front of my house right now.
So what you're telling me is that you have a Whiskey Rebellion flag.
Yes. Yeah, it's out front right now.
Come on.
Picked that up in Pennsylvania when Christian and I toured Independence Hall, which is a pretty cool place to visit. That's where they wrote the Constitution.
Yeah, of course.
So if you've never been there,
they wrote it with a Mont Blanc pen.
That's right. And the crazy part about it is the only thing in that Independence Hall that's authentic is George Washington's chair. Everything else was burned up in the fires. Britain came through and tried to burn everything down. So full of history today. Historical.
We love the
tidbits.
Brits, though. Right, mates?
I stopped caring about them in 1776. All right, so we're going to cheers this.
We'll cheers it. We'll give it a real shot.
Let's see.
All right. Oh. Sean, I need you to drink for me.
That packs a punch.
Oh God,
that packs a punch. It's rougher on the follow through. The initial is like, oh God, this is going to be smooth, and then whoa.
No, I felt the smoothness, the sweet, whatever hints of it. Good God. I mean,
that's tough.
Oof.
That's tough.
Yeah, this will make you grow a pair.
Yeah, so little brown sugar, little butterscotch, little leather. Yellow leather. leather. But
anybody want to drink some leather? Listen, here's the deal. There's people that like the spice. They go for that more than they would like 80 proof, right? Which, I'm not that guy. There's a guy, Jeff, that we did a bourbon tasting with, that he was incredibly brilliant with bourbons and the distillants that they are created in, the reason why the certain hue of the color. I mean, it was pretty crazy. And this dude didn't have like a book in front of him or a computer. This is just off his education.
Yeah.
It's incredibly sweet though, is what's weird about that. Like you get that crazy, it's harsh. Let me put it that way. It's harsh. But it's harsh with a body to it.
Yeah. There's a sweetness, there's a fruit.
Versus that,
you know what I mean?
Versus that, I don't know what bottle it was that we had, that it was just all the way harsh the whole time. Nothing gave up. Right?
Yeah. And I think the Blind Pig.
I could
bourbon was like that.
So I could drink, but I would probably need a drop of water. Folks, the one thing that they do say, they being people that know bourbon better than my good friend and I here, when they say something about water, I'm like, just throw ice cube in it. Well, certain people are like, listen, if you take a drop of water or 2 drops of water or a whatever measurement, it can change that variance to a degree that ice will overdo it, right? And I could see me for sure having a nightcap with that, but never neat.
Yeah. I'm
gonna power through this. I'm going to power through this.
Yes, you are. No, you're not. Never mind. Anyways, let's reverse that one. All right, so a little bit of sweetness. It's a little harsh.
A little harsh.
So, all right, so this topic today, this topic is something that we've talked about probably since the beginning, or at least after getting a few messages, which is interesting. During Women's Empowerment Month, we've gotten a few messages from ladies who said,
like, what do you mean, like on Instagram?
Like Instagram, like DMs and stuff like that, saying, like, basically putting it out there, like, what would you like to hear us talk about? And a couple of those messages were, we want to hear you talk about relationships. We want to hear you talk about emotions and things like that. And it's like, and both you and I were like, I don't know. I think both of you, even in the last 2 weeks, we've said, I don't know if I'm in the right headspace to do it this day. Like you did, me too.
Right.
So, I mean, because this is a very, very important topic, because we admittedly don't know everything, of course.
Not even close.
And we're
not even close.
We're still putting it together in different stages. You know what I mean? We're still putting these things together. But I feel like this topic is super important for all of our guys out there. So even Women Empowerment Month, we're going to take that we're going to take that idea from the ladies, and try to drop some jewels for us fellows out there.
Because, as a man or growing up in a man's walking in a man's shoes, you think that you have to be tough and strong, and you go home to your significant other. There's nothing better for me than the soft touch of my wife, and I don't mean that in some immature way. I mean just that initial hug from coming home from work.
Yeah,
But I think what we lack that. Transparency sometimes to be emotional or to be transparent enough to say, this is how I feel about this stage in the relationship, or we're kind of such routine creatures of habit and of the where I think women. I don't know women. I think my wife wants a conversation. She wants to talk about things. She doesn't want to hear about your dumbass day at work. I wasn't supposed to cuss today, folks. That's the only one. She doesn't want to talk shop. She doesn't want to talk shop. She doesn't. Right? Yeah. She wants to have a conversation. And
and it's like, does she want to communicate? Does she want a conversation, or does she want communication? You know what I mean? I think it's two different things.
Yeah, I was about to
say,
she
wants a connection.
Yeah,
right?
like are you hearing me? Or when we're talking?
Yeah,
or are we just
Yeah.
I like the concept for me was never that I'm scared of it or I don't want to talk about it. God bless. We might have to do the first pour on ice. That's like drinking gasoline, buddy.
Yeah, that's premium.
Drink responsibly,
that's
folks. All the time,
there.
Drink responsibly. But God bless, if you're drinking that fucking weed eater gas, make sure that you...
All right,
here's what I want to say. That... I think that this topic made me more nervous than anything because I know how many failures I have as a partner on the level of understanding or emotional or being fair or the selfishness that you don't realize until she tells you. And sometimes guys that tell you by packing their shit up 3 times, 4 times.
There's going to be a counter
by packing their things up and leaving.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's important, guys and girls out there. I think it's important to don't keep a blind eye to that. Like really, really listen to and read the room. Right. Mm-hmm. And I was told a few things even as of this past weekend that I didn't realize affected her the way it did. And even while she was telling me about it, I was like, and that's another thing that is about this subject is body language. And it's not well received if you're over there with a crappy look on your face. It feels like maybe I'm just going to stop telling you anything when your face looks like that.
Yeah. What do they say? Communication is 10 to 15% of what you actually say.
Right.
The rest is body language, inflection, and tone.
Right.
It's important. It's important. So, all right. So it's funny. So putting this all together, and the topic today is a man's guide to a healthy relationship. So what we're going to try to do is give some key points to what a healthy relationship looks like. And we're going to learn. Go ahead. What? yeah,
disclaimer.
That's right.
We are in no way, shape, or form saying that we know all of it. You should listen to what we say because we're on this top tier.
That's right.
We wanted to make sure that disclaimer was there because the title of it could look or make people assume that, oh, wow, these guys really think they know everything about it. Right?
I mean, if they click on it and watch it, I'm cool with it.
If you click on it and watch it 1 million times, we will
be experts. They'll invite us to talk on The View and things like that.
We'll have like a bigger platform.
Something like that. In Trail, North Carolina. No, we're staying true to our roots. All right. So one of the things is funny. Talk about headspace and being present and being mindful to do an episode like this because we did not want to come across that way. Right. But we did want to give some help to our fellow dudes out there.
Sure.
Like a old AAU basketball coach of mine, never miss an opportunity to coach.
Right. Coachable moments are important.
That's exactly right. So this is what it is. So today, had a great conversation on the way to church, and then had a good sermon, good message at church. And it's funny how, to me, the message coincided with what we're going to do today.
Right.
Let me drop this on you real quick. So the pastor was preaching out of the book of James. Listen, if you're a Christian, you believe in Christianity, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. If I would just read the book of James out of the Bible, just read it. It's short, it's sweet, a lot of important life lessons in there for you. But James 5:7-12 was talking about the patience in the form of like a farmer waiting on the crop. Right? So the perseverance to see things through and the faithfulness in the wait and the rewards for enduring.
Okay.
So what better way to segue from church to this podcast and what a relationship can bring and what we need to have and be in the relationship. We need to have patience, right? I mean, okay, so you and your wife have been together for 24 years dating in marriage, right?
Yeah.
We're like, right now I'm in a relationship, but I'm not married.
Right.
So I think in the patience aspect of it, you have to be patient to be able to last 24 years.
Right.
But you also have to have patience for all the single guys out there or ones just entering a relationship. I think you have to be patient in the wait and making yourself better so that you can kind of attract what you want. Yeah. And in the end, you do get rewarded for enduring all of the tests and trials and tribulations and triumphs that you go through in a relationship.
And sometimes you don't, and sometimes you didn't water those crops that you were wanting to grow, and then you're by yourself at a older age that maybe it's a bit more difficult to find somebody, and I think the key point in that is don't have this model in your head of what you think perfect looks like, because I'm going to tell you what perfect is. It's a word that should have never came up in the English language. It's just such a fallacy. Let me tell you what's perfect, right? I don't know. When you wake up at the beach and you look outside and you see the sun coming up on the horizon, that's perfect. You know why? Because you can't control that. That's just something that's pretty dope to look at, right? But what you can control and what you can do is be open and transparent enough to let things in, especially the single fellas out there. Let something in that does feel uncomfortable, that doesn't feel normal. Because can I tell you what normal is? You being single. right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, so you gotta, you know what I'm saying? If this is the conversation we're having with guys that are single, that's got to be part of the conversation. And it's the same. And we always bring work up, and we're going to stop doing this soon. Mm-hmm. But if something's not working, something's not following through, the metrics aren't getting there, right? Insanity's kind of diving in. What do?
Yeah,
you gotta make a change.
Maybe change it up.
Make a change.
I think one of the most important like life hack, right? So we're gonna say some things regardless of what we've been through or what we haven't been through. I'm life hack number 1. You will never attract what you want if you're not who you want to attract. You have, and this is one of the things that painfully I've had to look at myself and say,
sure,
I'm never going to have what I want until I am what I want.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have to change. I have to do the work. I have to do the things from what? What did I say?
All right.
Go ahead. For all the people who are not watching.
We're trying as hard as we can not to do like the because the pause thing is getting like ticked, whatever. But you said that you want to attract like you.
Yeah.
So if you show up with some freaking 6'3" handsome devil with some freaking bifocals on, I won't judge you. I won't judge you. Can I cheers to that?
Cheers. So I got another jewel to drop. No.
Listen, this is again going to be just something where Jason is he's humble, he's respectful, formidable, and he's delightful.
That was like a compliment and a slap in the face. Yeah. No, I think you have to do the work if you want. If you want somebody who's kind and empathetic and caring and genuine, right? You have to go be those things. Yeah. You don't get the work. If you're a dude, you don't just get this perfect. Well, perfect doesn't exist. This altogether complete, delicate, and beautiful and loving, supportive person. If you're a schmuck,
you get a schmuck.
You might get them, but they're not going to stay. So you got to do the work on yourself first. So life hack number 1.
And you see, you know, like attracts like, right? Birds of a feather, the whole whatever. Mm-hmm. That when you see a couple and they complement each other, mm-hmm. right? You don't usually see a couple where, you know, they look like they're on such opposite ends of the spectrum. It's like, I don't get this. This guy looks like a Mormon kind of dude, and she's dressed like in 6-inch heels. Like this doesn't match up. But like attracts like. It doesn't mean that those kind of people can't find each other. And
build. They say opposites attract as well.
Yeah. But my point of it is, if you look at any pictures of your friends, family, anybody, and the couples, they complement each other. Mm-hmm. There's even a way that they dress, and there's weird things with Ashley and I where there's times where we're going out somewhere, mm-hmm. and I put on whatever outfit I put on, she puts on what she puts on, and somehow, some way it's not like we're walking out of the house with freaking matching shirts on. Like, we would never be that corny. Even if
so you do that. You're not getting matching PJs at Christmas?
No, matching PJs at Christmas is different than walking out of the house with the same freaking shirt on. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Let me tell you something. I think it's okay.
Yeah. Not everybody agrees with what works for other people. All right. So let's talk about this. Some basic building blocks and a foundation for a successful, healthy relationship. Mm-hmm. Should be a book title. When we were talking about this, number 1 to me, and I think this is important in every relationship, but communication.
Right.
I think it all stems from communication. How do you feel about that?
I feel that you're 1,000% right. Communication.
Can we get that on a soundbite?
Communication, but sometimes routine is okay. It's okay to be okay. It's okay to be routine. There's so many different ways that people can take that off the rail. Mm-hmm. I personally get a phone call between 9:30, 9:45 a.m. on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
Every day. Works 30% of the time. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. It literally, I will try as hard as I can to make sure that I'm available at that time at work. because I know she's going to call me, right? At 3 p.m. every day, I'll text her, hi. It seems so silly, but at 4 o'clock, if I'm in the middle of something or whatever, and I look at my phone, I'll have anxiety. I'll be like, oh, crap, and then go and text her. Hi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think communication is a very big part of really just making sure there's that connective tissue throughout your day of being separated. And then when you come home, to make sure that your cell phone isn't what you're focused on. I'm guilty of it, man. It's bad. There will be times where I just sit down and I'm looking and scrolling through the garbage, right? Where how much better would my time be spent if I was sitting at the island and we're cooking dinner together and talking about the
being
day.
present.
Yeah, being present. And I'm very, very guilty of not being present, of being indulged in that phone that does me no justice.
So, all right, so let's go back to this. All right, 2 things. One, I don't think the world that we live in, I don't care if you're in a marriage of 24 years in dating, or if you're single, or if you're newly into a relationship. Right. The world out here, there's too many distractions. Right. There's too many things pulling us away. That's regardless. So we got to be mindful of that. The second thing is this is harsh. No, the second thing is you talked about a phone call at a certain time. Yeah. Right. And a text at a certain time. Right. Now, that's regardless of if you're in a disagreement. Right. That's regardless if everything is happy and go lucky. How does that little thing right there? It's not stupid. It's not silly or anything. It's important. I think it's crucial. How does that little thing right there, bring y'all together? What does it do
lights
for
us
both
up,
of you?
man. It makes it seem like you're dating a little bit. Like, okay. Yeah. Like when, like the line that never stop dating your wife deal.
Which is powerful. And I think that right there should be, say that one more time for the people in the
never
back.
Stop. If you're married, guys and gals, never stop dating. Always date. Like yesterday, we went to downtown Pineville to a place called Garrison's, which was phenomenal. Just so you know, okay. Sat outside, really nice weather, St. Patty's Day kind of thing going on.
Garrison's. I'm writing that down, putting on the list.
And Garrison's used to be called Global, and it's right next to a place downtown Pineville called Kit's too. Kit's is a great little beer, little bar, nice little dive, right? Right? Yeah, I love the way you're trying to keep that that sip down.
There's definitely some spice in it. You can get some brown sugar or something, but there's also a whole lot of spice, like a clove or something. Yeah. It's
a
harsh.
baseball bat. But anyway,
to the melon.
We went to, we went there and we had some good food and some good drinks, and then we went home. Mm-hmm. And then we went back out to there was a guy in the neighborhood turned 50, big 5-0. We went up to Mecklenburg Brewery.
OMB?
No. God, I butchered this every time. It's off South Boulevard right there with the driving range behind it.
Okay. I don't know.
Middle James. What it's called. Middle James. James. Yeah. We keep talking James today.
There you go.
Middle James went there. Here, but after all of that, ADHD radiating off my person, getting back to it, don't stop dating. It's nice. It's cool to go to a place and watch people act the way they're going to act, and then you get to sit there with your woman, and she's the prettiest lady in the area, Mm-hmm. And she, it feels cool. It's like it's not like, all right, let's sit here and eat. Okay, we went on a date. Let's go home. Right? Yeah. You see people out there. People watch probably 10 out of 10 people watch her. Right? Yeah. But her and I, it's never the same conversation when we go anywhere. It's never the same thing, even though we have a 9 o'clock or 9:30 call or a 3 p.m. high. When we're out on a date like that, we don't have the same circling, regurgitating conversations. Mm-hmm. It's cool. It's awesome. It feels good. Never stop dating.
Yeah, I mean that's where I think the whole presence of being mindful. That's something that that in my current situation, current relationship, that's one of the things. That's one of our go-tos is being mindful, making sure to be mindful. Another thing is I love that you said the little things about the certain call at a certain time or a text at a certain time. I think that right there kind of helps keep you grounded, even if it's a tough situation, even if you're battling an issue or whatever, or in an argument, even, that you can still come back to that. One of the things that her and I have done in our communication is we've incorporated the peace sign emoji.
Yeah.
Right. So that's our little thing, because text, I mean, she's busy at work. I'm busy at work. We're going back and forth and communicating. But the peace sign emoji has worked for us. It has taken the bluntness off a perceived text, maybe. Right. You know what I mean? It lets us know where we're at, and the joking and stuff.
I don't want to drink this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? So I think it's very helpful for us in our communication.
So that's your thing. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where if I saw a peace sign, I would just be like, oh, cool, peace.
Yeah.
But that's y'all's.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like
hey, this is a tough question to ask you because one of the things that we talked about as far as communication is that nothing's off the table. We talk about anything and everything.
You have to. That's an important thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. The more that you hold on to things, the more that you're piling up, the more that by the time, what do they say, right? I'm about to blow my freaking top, right?
Well, yeah, by the time you get to that point.
Well, you've blown your top because you keep on letting things slide that shouldn't slide. And that doesn't mean that you're a weak person or anything negative. That just means that what you're doing is allowing something that bothers you to bother you without talking about it. Today, something bothered you.
Yeah.
About something I said.
Yeah.
I looked at you like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Legit.
But it was in reality, this is something in reality that I think happens in relationships, because that's another thing with this topic. You got to be friends. You got to be pals.
Great point. Yeah.
You got to be pals.
You have to have that friendship.
If I can tell you something you don't want to hear, good, because I just got it off my chest. Boom.
Yeah.
I don't have to sit on that for the next few times that we're talking or the next few times it comes up.
Yeah.
So it's a good point that we're bringing up here. So nothing's off the table. Hey, look, by the way, I'm not trying to be petty here. Didn't like the way that, we went to sleep last night. We were upset at each other for something that was stupid that we disagreed about.
Yeah.
And it can always be something. It's always the smallest things that cause the biggest negative results. Small, insignificant to the point where if you're like, if you're venting to your friend, you're like, we got into a bit of an argument. What was it about?
Yeah.
Something
stupid.
Well, because you don't want to tell them.
Yeah.
Because the moment that you tell them thank you, the moment that you tell them, they're going to go, what? Y'all argued about the what the name of the show was you guys used to watch back in 2005. Y'all argued, because she was telling me that it was called this, but it wasn't called that. Well, okay, you know what that means? Is it wasn't about that show.
It's about something else.
It's about something else, and something else is bothering you, dude. I am far from a perfect partner, right?
Yeah,
and I think she'll agree that she's far from a perfect partner too. But man, she's good, right?
Yeah.
Man, I love her. Like I really don't want to not say that enough. It's very hard to.
No. We're talking about what makes. What makes a healthy relationship, right? Yeah. So, if we're talking about communication, I think a lot of the things that have to be up front, I think you have to get out in front of things, right? And talk,
communicate,
being mindful. Also, man, we have to remember as guys, right? A woman remembers, I think, more than we do. So we All right. Cup of the sacrament. Yeah. Bring it on in for the real thing.
Hey, come here. Cheers, man. Cheers
before
we talk to Sean after the show. Guys and gals, we promote healthy drinking. We promote having it to be able to de-escalate whatever your day is. Sean has this thing where he's like, all right, look, let me do this. I'm going to put it on ice, right? And I'm going to count to 8 this time when I'm pouring it.
It's an 8 pour.
Yeah. So
what do you think about that with the ice?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, actually, no. Take it now. Take a sip now. Be a perfect moment. Take a sip now, really quick.
Yeah.
Tiny sip. Set it back down, and then I'm gonna wait for another minute or so and try it again. A little bit, definitely calmed it down.
It does calm it down, and you get a lot more of the sweet notes. But there is definitely a leather
bound book.
In it. There's definitely a nature.
With Sean's pour, you could fit a leather bound book in there, a size 15 freaking Nike, and your living room. But
there you go.
Thanks for the pour, Sean.
Thanks.
Sean is actually looking to be a bartender. So all you people that really want to get a heavy pour,
that's right.
Sean's your guy.
That's it. Right? Hey, so let's one more thing on communication before we move on to the next one, because I know we got a few topics. So one of the things too that we've kind of made the commitment on, the girlfriend and I, is we know disagreements are going to happen.
Right.
We know arguments are going to happen. We're not stupid. We're not blind.
Right.
We've committed to not yelling.
Oh, it's important.
We've made the commitment early on when those things happen that we made the commitment to not yell. Do you agree with that? We feel like it's super important.
I think that it is probably the best bit of advice that you could give anyone. Doesn't matter what your age is. That yelling absolutely causes nothing but the opposite reaction of what you're looking for. Yeah. Now, I was yelling because you wouldn't stop cutting me off. Oh, I started yelling because you have all these reasons why you yelled. Mm-hmm. Okay, parenting. Okay, here's a thing. Even though my kids are very old, I very old. I learned this as a young parent. You can't yell at a child and expect them to hear what you're saying. Why? I don't know. Why don't you get a 15-foot person over you right now saying, hey, I want you to clean the room, blah, 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 like that. Are you going to look up at the 15-foot freaking human and be like, oh, yeah, sure, I got it. Yes, sir. No, you're going to go like this.
Why was the 15-foot person an old Jewish guy?
Right? You're going to go like this. You're going to go... And you're not going to listen.
Cower, yeah.
You're going to cower. So what you have to do is, as a parent, you have to get down. You lean down to their eye level and you say, listen, I asked you to clean the room. Please get it done.
Yeah.
But so when we talk about relationship, mm-hmm. there's no difference if you start, well, with the reason why either way, whether it's the woman or the man.
Yeah, this is for both parties.
I'm going to stop listening to you right now. Because you're yelling.
It triggers a whole bunch of other stuff, animosity, anxiety, and aggression.
And here's the thing. We're primal.
Yeah.
We are primal thing. Listen, something smells good in the kitchen. I want to eat it, right? It's mm-hmm. just what happens.
Yeah.
If you put your freaking hand out and touch a piece of hot coal, it's going to burn you.
Yeah.
If you step up in my face and start yelling at me, I'm going to have a problem and I'm going to defend my space.
Yeah.
You know what? In a relationship, that's horrible. You should never feel that way, but being a primal, but having that instinct, you're going to start yelling back and and doing all this stuff, and then nothing gets accomplished.
No.
You go to bed mad, which is horrible. You wake up mad, horrible. You want to go throughout your workday like, I ain't going to text. I ain't even going to be the first one to text or call. I ain't going to do it.
Pride.
And then you're like this, like looking at your phone like, oh yeah. Well, every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then finally you get over that, that ego. And you again, everything's out on the table. Text, hey man, I shouldn't have yelled last night.
So, all right. So let's piggyback off of that. So with yelling in general, if you are out with your wife, if I'm out with my girlfriend and we're at a restaurant and a man starts yelling at them, problem. So why are we going to do it?
Right.
So doesn't that go to a basic respect factor? Because that was another one of those. I was trying to pinpoint a few certain words for this episode, right? That truly, truly matter at the end of the day. Communication was number one.
Right.
But respect just a mutual respect. Yeah. That goes to being faithful. That goes to back to you talking about dating your wife. Yeah. You're dating your wife. Do you open the door for her?
Every time.
Right?
Every time.
Open the car door for her. Like some of the chivalrous things, we don't need, once we got them. I mean, first of all, if you're a dude and you're not opening your car door for your lady, if you're not opening a establishment door, if you're not pulling her seat out, let's be mindful of those things. That's just basic respect and show her respect.
I want to tell you that even yesterday, I'm sitting in the car. We're leaving the Middle James place. She was still saying bye or doing whatever, and I got into the car. Mm-hmm. And I look up, and there she is walking up to the car, and I'm like, whoa, and I jump out of the car real quick and run around to open the door. Don't you touch that door. She's like, and it's cute.
Yeah.
Because that's my duty. It's my duty I
appreciate that and applaud that.
As a man to do that. I want to do that. I think that you put that in a real perspective that people may not understand now, the younger fellas, younger guys, and not because you guys are none the wiser or whatever like that. It's because maybe that didn't happen for you growing up, right?
Maybe we've been too busy to miss that lesson to teaching them.
I personally, I came from great people. I love these people, but they divorced when I was at a very young age. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. And God rest my dad's soul, but it wasn't that I didn't learn my dad treating my mother with opening the door every time or
me either.
Right.
Me either.
So that was a learned thing, right? And a learned thing, but it's something that I most certainly pass down to my sons, and I talk to my sons about it, and it's something most certainly that my daughters should want. It should be a red flag for women
if that's not happening.
All right, there's cultures, and I won't call the cultures out, even though I didn't want to. There's cultures that the man is so much higher on the totem pole.
Revered,
where in this one particular culture where they do not open the door for their wives and they walk through the door first every time. Now, there might be a underlying reason why they do that and why the door slams back on their lady, and I open the door for their lady and I look over at the guy and I just kind of want to be like, it's opening the door for your wife instead of letting the door hit her.
Respect.
It's respect. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm walking into a place with a dangerous atmosphere, I will walk in first because I will always protect my wife with my life, right?
Yeah, I got you.
But that's not what we're talking about, folks. Yeah. We're talking about opening the door.
So, all right. So let's segue. Let's segue because there's something that we in our talks, in our many of talks, that you've told me stories about, and we don't have to mention names or people or anything like that. But what's the importance? We've talked about arguments can happen, disagreements will happen, right? Yeah, what's piggybacking off respect? How important is it to argue in private?
Unbelievably important. It's nobody's business.
Yeah.
It's nobody's business. And that's a great point to bring up. And it's not like, you're tallying it up while you're at Sam's Club buying some bulky food. Yeah, I can't wait to get home to argue with you about the way you threw that 7-pack of cereal in the, right?
Yeah.
But it's important to do that because it's nobody's business, right?
Yeah.
And number two, if a man is yelling at a woman and you're an alpha like you and I are, we're going to be looking like, even though it ain't none of my business.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, man, I might hit this guy in his face.
I might have to.
Right?
Yeah.
Now,
good point.
Something that I I laughed at so hard. I think it was a comedy special with something, but it was a woman, and said, "You're at McDonald's," and this kid is just screaming, and the mom just grabs him. Right? There's two different kind of people. You got the one person that's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that she's grabbing that kid and doing that. That's horrifying."
Yeah.
And then you got the mom, the lady that's got kids at home. And she goes, "What did that kid do to that woman?" God
poor
bless
lady.
him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll whip him too.
Yeah, but it's hard. But that's. I brought that in there to bring a little levity into it. We arguing in public. When you see that as a man, you see a man doing that. You want to correct that dude and be like, "Hey, but you never know. Maybe she did something super foul."
Or what if she's screaming at him and he's just sitting there listening to it and not doing anything aggressive.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. And you should have it at home.
It's a bad look. I want to segue onto something else that makes that is a bad look.
Okay. What else?
Or what you think, folks. Comment on it.
Ooh.
What do you feel like when you see a above to a little bit too much PDA?
Ooh. So I think that's a good point. So my initial reaction is it's unnerving. It's obnoxious.
It's visceral.
Good word. I like that.
Right.
I like that. But I mean, do you feel like it's almost like you're trying to prove something?
Yes.
And you don't need to.
Yes.
Like if you got it and then you know what it is, it's just like arguing in public. Too much PDA, it's almost like it's a show.
It's you know what? That's where the get a room or whatever kind of cliche stuff that you have that you say all the time.
Wow. I thought we were on the same page here.
It's something so it's gross. It's gross.
Yeah.
We've witnessed it firsthand in the garage. Shout out to Diesel.
Diesel dollars.
But it's one of those things where it's like, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Enough of that. Get out of here.
Which you literally had to say at this moment.
And like, listen, Ashley and I would say a couple times, maybe not even a couple, maybe one or two times, have gone and had a bigger kiss than we should have, or a bigger embrace than we should have.
Yeah.
We are mindful of that because you know what? A public display of affection is great if you rub your wife's shoulder, you scratch her back, or she scratches your back for a second, or whatever like that. That's awesome to see. I like that, man. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Or if mine and she kisses you on the cheek, or you give each other a peck. That's cool. It makes it, and I'm going to make sure I'm clear on this. If your wife or significant other is groping and kissing you, and you're groping and kissing her, and all this kind of stuff, what happens to the guy that's watching, unbeknownst to what you think, he ain't thinking about like, wow, that dude's kissing good as hell. You know what he's doing? He's like, shiz. And now I can't help but to look at her backside because you keep grabbing it. And I can't help but to look and be like, wow, man, she looks like she's a lot of fun. You're putting a display on that is, I think it's countering what relationships are. Relationships and respect. Yeah. Respect.
Yeah.
I respect my wife enough not to go up, and even this is PDA, when a lady walks by, or a dude's lady, he's like, hey, what's up, baby? Bop, and slaps her ass.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
Come on, man.
That's something for your kitchen.
That's
something for y'all's kitchen and having fun.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, treat her.
And you know, these same people though, that and I'll get off this in a second. I did this, just brought up a memory. These same people are the ones that you'll be out with, you know, in a public place having some drinks, and one of the partners will get up to go use the bathroom, and you're having a conversation with them, and they're just like, and they're watching their person go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, hey, What a conversation, man. What's up? Oh, just saying, man, making sure that. Are you afraid that she's going to go and start curtailing with somebody in the bathroom?
Well, and I think it goes to the overall respect factor and building her up. As a man, we should build them up in every single way.
Every single way.
In public, treat them with respect. And if there's anything that needs to be talked about, y'all talk about it in private. And a little bit more of a life hack. Number 2. If you're going to have an argument, don't do it in the bedroom. Don't do it in the bedroom. If you're going to have an argument, you do it in another room. That bedroom should be for physical intimacy,
for your
intimate connections, your rest.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring that negativity.
You don't want to bring that
negative energy and store it in that bedroom.
That's a good point. I like that. And
that's something I've learned. That wasn't for me. That was something that was given to me.
I think that whether you're in a relationship for 2 months, 2 years, or a couple decades, I think it's important to learn new stuff about yourself and about your relationship,
constant evolution,
and about your evolvement to understanding and recognizing that problems exist everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
We're in a place right now where it is the easiest thing in the world to connect to somebody in shitty ways. I think that you should always make that other person feel like their phone call, that conversation, that text message is on the forefront. And I literally, there's times where you can't, and if they respect you, they understand it. Hey, I'm in a meeting right now. I'm or I'm in a conference, whatever, and they respect that. But communicate. Mm-hmm. Don't not respond. The cell phone is a part of our life now. You cannot be a proper manager and direct both the stores that you do without your cell phone. I'm going to tell you this right now.
Have to have
I would dare anybody to say different. If I took your cell phone away from you for a week, and you got to go down to Greenville Monday, Tuesday, come back with Dude, I think a problem. I think that you, because you know what would happen? Hey, been trying to call you. There's a problem at the Charlotte store. Or, hey, man, I've sent you 7 emails and you haven't responded back. The CEO's on this email. That's a problem.
or customers calling you, texting you.
Or your wife.
Yeah.
Let me again.
Put things in perspective.
I want to make sure that you understand what's the most important thing. I am very blessed to have a great job and a great organization to work for. Mm-hmm. They do not stand near the importance of my wife.
We work to live, not live to work.
So having that phone taken away from me for a week, I don't care about the email. That sounds bad.
I know. Oh yeah, it's perspective.
I want, if I miss some calls, or if I miss a phone call from you, and I miss a phone call from my wife, I'm going to call my wife first. No offense.
I wouldn't expect you to do any differently.
Right? And I think that if you're a lady, I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's an anxiety that happens when you miss a call that is like, what you calling about?
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, I hope everything, just because we want to protect our own.
Yeah.
And your call, hey, what's up? I'm sorry I missed your call. Oh yeah, I was just seeing if you wanted to have pork chops or steaks tonight. Whatever, baby.
It's either but hey,
in your head,
it goes back to that communication of what if there's a disagreement and it ended in a funky way.
Yeah.
And okay, normally she's asleep by 8:30, but she's not. Why not make
Jason's,
that phone call?
Jason's dating a 74-year-old.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
And though
I call her grandma, it really turns her on.
And though she is a walker, she's not afraid to walk.
I'm giving a hypothetical situation here.
At 8:30.
I'm giving a hypothetical situation that, hey, maybe that person you normally is in bed.
I get it. Yeah.
There's been a disagreement, so she's not in bed. Reach out. You know what I mean? It's important. So we talk about PDA and maybe that being too much. How important though is affection?
Oh man, incredible.
In a relationship. I mean, for me personally, if I was gonna, a prospective person I was gonna date, and they told me that affection, sex is not important,
they're not the one.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those things, affection. You talk about walking past and maybe grabbing the shoulder, touching the arm.
Oh, if I walk,
the little things.
If I walk past her. Yeah. And I that's another thing I hate about social media, that you see these videos that they put up, and you say something like this, and it's almost like, oh, I saw that on TikTok. That ain't what really. No, really. If I walk through the kitchen and don't touch her, she'll be Jimmy Bass, and I'm like, what? What? Yeah. She's like, what is wrong with you?
You didn't touch my elbow. You didn't, walking.
Elbow.
Yeah, elbow. Hey, man, if we're in the car and my hand doesn't go on her thigh, if I'm not reaching out and
how does it when you're driving in the car? How do you do it?
So that's not happening. I love you, bro. I love you, but that's not happening. So no, I mean
that's on the next episode.
Stay tuned. No, but if she will take my hand and put it on her thigh, and then look at me like this is where
what the hell is your problem? Yeah, it's funny. The things like that. Again, go back to what we said before. It's the small things, okay? If
the little things, all the little things.
If you look at a house, you drive by, you're like, wow, it's a house.
Yeah.
Something didn't just drop this house here. The little things built this house up to make it.
And where does it start? With the foundation.
Yeah. So being a responsible partner of communication, of respect, of wanting to consume yourself with them wholeheartedly. The little things like that, the touches, the text messages, the phone calls at certain times.
How they take their coffee.
Dude, she straight up told me the other day, and she said, "Do you not want me to have coffee? Is that what this is?" And I walk downstairs. And Sundays, or I think Liverpool's playing right now. Saturdays, Sunday mornings, usually I watch my, EPL. And she's like, coffees. I was like, yeah, I got you. And I'll go downstairs and start warming up the Keurig and turn on the game. And my phone's like, I'm like watching the game. It's like, it's soccer. It's for some people, it's not for them because you watch the game for 2 hours and they score 1 goal. Yeah. Right. But that makes it even better. And then I look at the phone. She's like, do you not want me to have coffee this morning?
Whoops. My bad.
But it's important. It's those little things. Yeah. I think the concept of marriage is something that was bestowed upon us. It's life. It's what you're supposed to do. Okay. What you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. You have kids. You're supposed to get married. Mm-hmm. Some religions, if you have kids out of wedlock, bad.
Yes.
All this.
A lot of those look at that.
But marriage, I think it's important, and I don't disagree with it, and I'm glad I'm married, and I would not change it for the world. I think that you got to understand what it looks like to be together and to be connected and to understand and to have I don't care what happens. Mm-hmm. That's my person. I want to do whatever it takes.
Like a Bonnie and Clyde type.
Like a Bonnie and Clyde.
Ride or die.
Like I wrote a song. I'm going to let you hear it after this. I wrote a song that Kenny Carver's been making the most incredible beats, by the way.
Trill.
I said, dude, there's no way that you just started making beats. There's no way. Yeah. I feel like Kenny just decided, he was like, all right, I've been making beats now for 15 years. I'm about to tell everyone.
Just going to release.
They're that good.
Yeah.
Well, one of the lines I said in it is that wifey's more reliable than the rest of you. So if you ask me who I trust, it's never you, right? Yeah. I guarantee you that the same way that if you and I got in a situation, there's 4 dudes that are talking and one of us are about to get it. You have to defend ourselves. That's you and me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Back to back. Let's go.
That's what it is. Yeah.
She would be right next to me.
Yeah.
Right next to me.
And that's super important.
Yeah. And it's not when you revert back to violent things like that, some people are like, you just sound like a freaking, want to be tough guy.
I think it's tearing it down at the end of the day when everything's stacked up against you.
She'll do.
Can you count on the person next to you?
She'll do any. Like there's something else that means more to me than the idea of marriage, right? The idea of it is a lot of times, and I know I'm jumping off this other deal we're talking about, but it kind of relates to it. There's so many times that people will call you, your friends will call you, and they don't go, hey, how you doing? How's things? Oh my God. My freaking wife is being such a and just So what you turn into is a dumping ground.
Right? Yeah, you're a landfill.
And I hate hearing my wife second guess herself or her relationship with some of her friends, because I don't think she second guesses it. Maybe I'm speaking a little bit too far out there. She's always telling me about all these problems everybody else has, and I'm like, well, did they ask you how you're doing?
Yeah.
Not that she's got all these things to dump, but everybody's getting stressed.
It's just in general it being a two-way conversation,
and she ends up being like this just dumping ground.
She has to absorb all everybody else's negativity.
So why am I here just for the bad, man? What about the good? Can you hit me up and tell me a victory? Can you hit me up and tell me something great that happened?
Yeah,
to you?
I've had the tragedy. I want the triumphs now.
And so I try to think about that myself. I'm like, I don't want to do that to her. I don't want to call her and be like, "Wow, fucking work. This customer, they give a bad review." All these kind of things where she's just kind of like, again. I'm no different now.
Yeah, but you still have to be you still have to be able to share that share the frustrations. But we should be looking towards positive things.
My point of it is, instead of going, "How are you? Yeah. How's it going? How was your day?"
That's
Tell
important.
me about it. That's my point.
Yeah.
It took a lot for me to get to my point. That's my point of
14 minutes.
Like, just dump all this BS.
No, it's important. That's crucial. That's crucial.
Now,
all right. So all right.
Sean, where we at, dog? Where we at?
I think one of the things that guys,
we're allowed to talk to each other in this podcast because we're wide open.
Yeah, right at it.
Right at it. That edible.
All right. So I think one of the things that a lot of guys don't know is the love languages.
Okay, what is that?
There was a book called The 5 Love Languages. This was a crucial thing about 20 years ago that a lot of ladies grasped to.
It's
huge. It's massive, and it still is.
Keep going.
You are a problem. All right. So
I'm not pointing any fingers.
I'm not pointing fingers.
You're a problem.
This guy's a problem. So there's 5 love languages. I was going to actually add this to our 3 questions, and we're going to kind of speed through this. But do you know what the 5 love languages are?
No, I don't.
All right, so we're going to do them in order. And so every person supposedly has 2 that they gravitate to, and realize that your lady or man out there, whoever's listening, has 2 love languages that they gravitate to.
Okay.
So this is very, very important on how you receive love, how you give love, and how your partner gives and receives love. When y'all start talking the same love language, that's when things can blossom, right?
I don't know if Marvin Gaye's playing in the background right now, but I feel good, right? Let's change Brown.
All right, so number 1 is words of affirmation.
Okay.
Words of affirmation. So, I mean, one of the things that, that my girlfriend and I, one of the things that we started early on that we will gravitate to is I like you. I appreciate you, and I'm thankful for you.
Is that do y'all have like a billboard thing, or is it on a coffee cup? Do you guys have?
You're not roping me into that. I was going to say, because if it was a sign, you'd probably have it. All right. So number 2, number 2 is,
babe. He's making fun of the way that we have certain signs.
I love you. I love you. All right. Number 2.
Home is where the heart is.
And I wouldn't know that without the sign. Quality time. Number 2 is quality time, right?
Okay.
QT, continue to date.
Yeah.
Vacations, detaching when you're in being present.
I heard something about, they said every 7 days, go on a date. Every 7 weeks, go on a mini vacation. Every 7 months,
go on a real vacation.
Go on a real vacation.
That's huge. I love that. I love that, honestly. Number 3 is physical touch.
Right. Yeah.
We've already talked about how important that is, right? Number 4 is acts of service.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Which is crucial.
Different ways, yeah.
That's right. And number 5 is receiving or giving gifts.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I think that guys, and I'm not speaking to the gals right now. Sorry. Guys.
Yeah.
These people have come together and they came up with this plan to make a profit, and they've decided to put it in every grocery store all together. They bunch it together, and some of them are roses.
Is this stuff that could grow naturally?
And you walk up to it and you buy it, and then all the guys, you take the whatever it costs and you peel that off, because we all do it. And I guarantee that there's a million people that are like, yes, I do it all the time.
Or if you look in front of my kitchen sink right now, that are in a vase, if you will. Yes.
Well, it's important, dude. Flowers don't have to be just for important dates. And I want to tell you something else that is important, man. And I think that
preach.
Roses are celebratory. Roses are for those Valentine's days, right? If you look to the right or the left, they're wildflowers. They are cool. They look good.
Colorful.
Now, if I just walk in the house, I'm going to tell you, I'm just speaking for me. If I walked in the house with a freaking 12 roses that are beautiful, and gave them to my wife, she'd be like, "What'd you do?" But
how'd you get yourself in trouble?
But in reality, though, you got to listen too. You got to listen. She doesn't like roses. What Andre 3000 say? They smell like
poo, poo, poo. That's right. Yeah. It's knowing your significant other.
So I was in the kitchen and she walked by with the flowers that she was throwing away, and walks by me and she was like, oh, like did a sad face.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there washing dishes. I was like, heard. I heard you. I got it.
I got it.
And she's like, yeah, I heard you.
Yeah.
Because it's something that it's something you should do a lot.
A random Tuesday, because the thing about it is and I think women are better at this than we are. I mean, they want to know the size shirt you wear, because if they see something out and that you would look good in, they want to be able to pick it up.
Yeah.
You better be paying attention to these things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't suggest necessarily buying your woman clothes.
No, ever.
Would not go that route. But random flowers on a random Tuesday, something that means something, just the little things, man. Do the little things.
Yeah, the little things are important. And the clothes thing, it's not because, you're going to buy her a shirt doesn't fit her right. No. Good. My wife, at least, she dresses better than I do.
Yeah.
Like, she'll put some stuff together and I'm like,
yeah, more style than we have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's unfair. It's unfair a little bit.
It's all good. It's all good. It is what it is. All right, listen.
Let me just finish this.
Right.
She's got that style about her that's fire, right? The accessory is something that would be better. My wife she's not a watch girl or a whatever, but if I found something that I saw that was really cool, that was like at a thrift place or whatever, that looked like somebody made it out of their own time, like what Hannah Shook does, like shout out to Hannah Shook.
Yeah.
And I bought it and it cost me $12.
Yeah.
This was priceless for her.
It's not the dollar value. Yes, it's the thought. Yeah.
Deal.
So one of the things that I noticed, because my girlfriend, she layers up, she's got a ton of different styles. I mean, it amazing. Like, I mean, she's crazy with it. So one of the things I realized is like, she didn't have like accessorizing, right? So I noticed that she likes to wear the color black sometime, you know, she'll mix it up. But I realized that she
never knew that you were going to get an emo shit. I'm messing with you, bro.
So she didn't have a black bracelet. I noticed this. So I picked her up for Christmas, picked her up a little black bracelet. And it wasn't $1,000.
This is what I'm seeing in my head. Is it a shark teeth?
No. You know, no, it wasn't. But I thought, I was like, some stones and stuff like that.
So,
you know,
something you thought that she would appreciate.
She absolutely loved it.
Good.
And it's like, okay, thank God. You know what I mean? But it's just the small things, the recognition. You know, of the little things, the small things.
Say that word again.
The recognition.
Hold on. Did you just say recognition? Here on the Two Poor Podcast, we make up words.
Listen. It's a massive error in my point. All right, hold on. Let me ask you one thing. Because this is one of the things that was brought to me in the messages, right? In the DMs that we got. And I want you to expand on this one.
Okay.
The question was, is this true? If he wants to, he will.
Yeah.
Does this not need to be a point for all the ladies out there listening and for all the guys out there listening?
Yeah. If he wants to, he will.
Women recognize this, or they should recognize this. And I think at the same point, the guy should recognize this as well. If she wants to, she will.
I think to expand on that, I think that people, especially lopsided financial homes, meaning that I work, you take care of the kids, or I make more money, breadwinner. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that comes with the air of false dominance, right? And you think that, you know, she's not going to leave because where's she going to go?
Yeah.
Where's she going to go? Can I tell you?
That's a tough approach.
Can I tell you where she's going to go?
Yeah.
All right. To that guy that's been being super nice to her at work. To that guy that's been giving her that extra attention.
Yeah.
I'm not
paying attention to the little things.
I'm not saying that you know, being unfaithful is okay. But there was another thing. It was a guy and a woman. A woman said, she's not older than me. She's not prettier than me. We're the same, blah, blah. Why her? And he goes, because she doesn't yell at me all the time. And she doesn't make me feel bad. And she doesn't belittle me. And she doesn't all this. And it resonates, not with me because that's not my life. Mm-hmm. But it resonates with the conversation because sometimes get out of there. Stop trying to make a problem. Stop being so upset. Listen, if you're that upset, bounce.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. This is what I believe in. If being your friend is this much work and it's no, I'm not going to be your friend, dude. Like, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to fight. Like, if I got to do all this just to say you're my freaking friend, God, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So look at it in the same way. Like, God, if this relationship if we have to do all of this just to be under this roof, I don't want to be under it.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Did you say, you know, if you subscribe
way better with ice, by the way.
Absolutely. If you subscribe to any major religion, they're going to tell you that divorce is bad, right? The divorce is bad.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Divorces exist for a reason. You know what I mean? Where people, you know, you talk to guys and sometimes they've given away all of their earnings. And you're like, why are you happy? Because you know what? It's fucking worth it.
Yeah.
That's the number one for me. You know what I mean?
No, but you've done like 3.
Oh. My bad. Anyways. All right. So the more you know. One quick thing before we segue into the 3-question segment, because I know you got 3 questions that you're going to ask
3 questions, which will be our parting shot, right?
No. This is the 3-question segment. for the girls out there that are listening to us guys, and we're talking about emotions and feelings, all these other kind of stuff. Give us some grace. We aren't mind readers.
Right.
We don't know everything. That's why number one for me was communication. Be open and honest with what you expect and what you want. The real people, the real men are going to step up and be that, but also listen to when we say this is what we need. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's got to be a two-way street. This isn't just for all the men out there to say, you know, you need to be better. You need to be better. Nah, I mean, chicks, y'all need to be better as well. We all need to be better. So, all right, 3 questions.
All right.
Let's go.
Now, question number 1. For you, not for the world, right? Just for you.
Just for me.
Do you have a fear of connecting?
Absolutely not. I love connection. I look forward to it on a daily basis, and nothing in a relationship can grow or spawn without a connection.
Good. I appreciate you cutting off my question.
Okay.
Is there a fear of connecting from past relationships?
Ooh, that's a completely different question.
You're on fire though, so keep going.
Yeah, no. I think that growth comes outside of our comfort zone. I feel like that just because I haven't necessarily gotten it right completely before,
right,
that it won't happen. So I think that's where being patient through this whole process comes.
All right. Do you feel like committing to a partner interferes with your selfish own time, with what you see what I don't know, what I don't understand is that for 24 years I've lived with this same woman, which has been great.
Yeah.
But with you having this relationship or future relationship, or we're gonna, nest, does that make you kind of fear the committal? That's
a great question. I'm actually really impressed with that question. I'm impressed with this guy. So I feel like we all are selfish by nature, right? In some ways. I have to be mindful. I have to be careful to make sure that I give myself my own time. But at the same time, if you're looking at as a future relationship or in a new relationship, if it gets to the level of commitment that you're talking about, you also have to realize, make time for yourself, but this situation is so much greater than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what's super important and beneficial in life.
It's sometimes something that I've seen break people apart when they move too quick on it. When they're like, oh man, but this is just the one. The connection. And,
and I'm going to give everything. And then you have to have time for yourself.
And then they move in together, and then 6 months later, 6 weeks later, they hate each other.
I think it goes back to, and this is why I'm glad that we did these things to begin with, is the foundations, communication, respect, and those types of things.
Right. Loyalty, right?
Loyalty, yeah, exactly.
Right. So last question.
Okay.
Are you happy?
Expand.
We're talking about relationships, right?
Am I happy right now?
We're talking about relationships, right?
I am extremely happy, but I'm more hopeful even than I am.
Back up real quick.
I am happy.
Back up real quick. Because you didn't answer it.
Yeah.
We're talking about relationships.
Well, I wanted you to expand. You said, am I happy?
No, I don't have to expand. It's a very simple question. Are you happy?
Yes. Am I happy where I'm at in my relationship? Yeah. Absolutely. Good. 100%.
Look, I want to, now I'll expand.
Okay.
There's so many people.
Yeah.
It's a perfect moment.
Yeah.
There's so many people that will answer that, right? That will dance on it. You weren't dancing on the question because it was very...
It was broad.
You're like,
yeah.
All right. Are you happy? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Right? Those answers, that's red flag. That's liar. Are you happy? Yeah. Hell yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Right? Those answers, that like if you ask me, am I happy? Yes, dude.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to actually expand upon that in my parting shot.
All right.
But before that, I got 3 questions to ask you. All right. So, one of the
6'3", 180 pounds, whatever. Fitness is my life.
Fitness. All right. So, question number 1. Don't go to bed angry. Is this outdated?
No, it's extremely, extremely.
And you mentioned this earlier, actually.
Important, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and it's so silly for anybody out there to be like, we don't ever go to bed upset at each other, do we?
Somebody's not paying attention.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, look, man. There's times where I could be a real jerk, man, and there's times where she could be a real pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And guess what, my good night, love you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not mad, but you were at the far end of the bed, though.
Yeah, but all right, but yeah.
All right, so good. All right, so question number 2. This is for all the young couples out there, right? You have teenage daughters. I have a teenage son, right? We're kind of in the same boat. But for anybody, let's take a 30,000 foot view at this one.
With a sniper rifle to guys.
For any of the guys out there. Yeah.
If you don't think for a second that I'm going to kill a guy.
And I'll help him.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? I will help him, and I will help bury you without a blink of an eye.
We can't wait for the Bad Boys moment, by the way. When I get to open the door, I'll be like,
there ain't going to be no tonight.
17, you look damn near 30.
Reggie?
Yeah.
Anyways, so even for young couples, not even in age, young in the whole couple aspect.
Right.
When should sex be a part of the relationship?
Oh, it's a wide brush. It's going to be different. My answer is going to be different than a Christian answer.
I don't care. I just asked for your answer. Yeah.
When it feels right, when it's not forced, when the connection is natural,
when the foundation's been built.
When foundation's been built, but again, that's a very a question can be answered so many wrong ways. But like sex should be introduced when the time is right.
Okay.
It shouldn't be a forced thing, and
you should never feel forced.
All of us are guilty of that, of trying to push the envelope to
not all of us. Right? I mean, there's some people out there who've waited.
Yeah. 3% of you, which I respect.
Well, hey, a lot of the world's law is based on 3%.
Joint probably looks like Balboa down there, bud.
Pressure bust pipes. That's all I'm saying. All right. So question number 3: should there be a mandatory age restriction on marriage? And if there is, what would it be?
That's such a fucking good question. Did you smoke weed when you were doing this?
Yes, actually. No, I don't smoke weed.
There is a mandatory age. It's like 18, right?
I'm asking you, should there be a mandatory age? And if so...
I think that
30?
For my kids...
That was always my joke. No sex or marriage until you're 30. That was always my joke.
That's such a... 18, I don't know. It's a fucking curveball.
Well, that's what I do. That's what I do here. I'm just throwing curveballs.
Are you interested? Am I interested?
All of a sudden, now I'm interested.
Right.
All right. So,
parting shot.
Segue into the parting shot. All right. So, this parting shot is sponsored by. Actually, we don't have a sponsor for the parting shot, but you can be a sponsor. Email us.
Hey,
hit us up.
There's a few that are there.
Maybe somebody wants to sponsor the parting shot episode.
So basically, just to segue into that, whenever we do a parting shot, the parting shot will be sponsored by your respective business, and we will put you on every single platform that we have.
Absolutely.
And we might buy stuff from your place too.
So I'm gonna step out onto a ledge here for my parting shot.
Right.
But my parting shot is actually to my current girlfriend, and I couldn't think of any better parting shot than to say a thank you to her. Honestly, the thoughts about her and towards her actually helped me craft my part of this episode.
Yeah.
Right. She very well could be the reason that previous relationships didn't work. And she is a monumental.
I like that.
She's a monumental addition to my world. I believe she's both a gift and a blessing. You know what I mean?
Not a gift and a curse, like most people say.
Nah, a gift and a blessing to my life. And I also believe that she wouldn't be here without me doing all the work that I had to do on myself over the previous year to be necessarily a garden for that plant to grow. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think I had to make sure that I fixed some things about myself too.
You had to get out of there.
That's exactly right, which I like that point. I want to thank her for her patience, honestly, her affection, her humor, her beauty, her compassion and empathy, her spirit and support, her touch, her smell, her honesty and openness, her forgiveness, and her attention. Last but not least, I want to thank her for her focus on us and fighting to be together more than we are apart. So I'm in awe of her, honestly. I'm in awe of her and amazed at her daily. So, Sarah, from my heart to yours, I like you, I appreciate you, and I'm grateful for you. And I can't wait to see where our journey takes us next.
Hey, people don't understand what you just did right there.
Yeah, I know. I did it. I did that. Yes.
Because the whole time I'm like, yeah, your significant other. Yeah,
I know. There's some things that we couldn't talk about, but yeah.
Anything we can't talk about. That's a God, I got goosebumps right now, dog. I got goosebumps. The follow up to that is nothing. That exemplifies what a healthy relationship is, what it should sound like, and what it should look like, and what it should be like. The reality of a lot of things is that people are too scared to jump in because they don't know if the water's cold or not, and they fear too much of what they don't know. And what you just did right there, and what you've accomplished in the time that you and her have been building, is incredible. And it's crazy that I haven't met this bird yet, but So
hey, and over the course of these podcasts, you've expressed multiple things. Every episode of you and Ash and what y'all have grown and been a part of and overcome, and the success and all the good things about your relationship are very, very important, and they're like one of my goals too. Right? I appreciate that. I'm not envious. I'm appreciative of what you guys have, and I can't wait to introduce her to both of you guys. And girls, and I can't wait to have Ash on the show coming up soon.
Ashley's going to be a guest for Female Empowerment Month.
Female Empowerment Month. We're gonna tell more stories. I can't wait. That's going to be impressive.
Guilty as charged with the stories.
So, hey, parting shot, you could sponsor it. Hey, shout out to our loved ones. Shout out to all the guys and girls out there. Listen, just because you don't have it doesn't mean you can't get it. And if you have it, keep it, because you're not promised another good one. If you got a good one, you better do what it takes to hold on to it.
Yeah, and life is life's fragile, and life only happens once.
Short.
And it's important to give homage and thanks and love to who deserve it.
Absolutely.
And you deserve it.
100%. So, from Two Poor Podcasts, thank you for your support. We love you. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors. And we'll catch you next time. We love you.
I feel good.
I love this shit.